Hi and welcome back to Classic MGB. Now, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you'll know that I collect books on MG in general and the MGB in particular. Most of my collection was sourced from used book sites, as many are out of print, so it was great to see that the subject of this review is new and details the entire history of the brand, MG Century. Now, the author David Knowles is one of the most prolific writers on MG history, especially the post-Second World War period, and has been researching and writing mainly about MG and Triumph for many years. His first book was published more than 30 years ago. Quick look at Amazon shows that David has at least 8 books on MGBs alone, including one of my favourites, MGB the Superlative MG. There's been lots of activities celebrating the centenary of the MG, so with his extensive knowledge of the brand, it did make sense for David to produce a book commemorating 100 years of MG. MG Century is the most detailed book I've found on the history of MG, and as with most books, we can't hope to cover everything in the 240 pages of detailed, well-illustrated information in this short video. So if you'd like a copy of the book, it's available on Amazon, and if you use the affiliate link in the description, it costs you exactly the same, but pays us a small commission that helps us keep the channel going. That said, let's dive in and take a look. Neatly, the book's divided into 10 chapters, each focusing on a decade in the company's history, starting with chapter 1 entitled The Roaring Twenties, which tells the story how William Morris, who later became Lord Nuffield, started in bicycle manufacture before founding Morris Garages in 1912. Cecil Kimber's arrival in 1921 heralded the beginning of MG as a brand in its own right, and in particular, the design of the iconic octagonal logo, reputedly designed by Ted Lee, an accountant at the company. Chapter 2, Midgets, Magners and Magnets, does what it says on the tin and covers the company's immediate pre-Second World War history. This includes the aforementioned Triple M's, as well as the record-breaking activities of Goldie Gardner. This book is full of interesting little nuggets. For example, I often wondered where the MG slogan "Safety Fast" came from. Apparently, various options were thought up, including "It passes and surpasses," and even "Faster than most," until Ted Colgrove, MG's first publicity manager, came up with "Safety Fast" after seeing it on the back of a bus. And it's been used ever since 1930, becoming the title of the MG Car Club magazine in 1959. Chapter 3 is entitled The War Years and documents the changes at MG during the Second World War. The factory was used in several ways to help the Allied war effort, including production of seemingly random items ranging from rifles to aircraft wings, tanks, and even the complete nose cones for aircraft. The war years also saw the sacking of Cecil Kimber, reportedly related to personal issues which seem absurd in today's world. But I'll let you read all about that in the book. Post-war recovery, the subject for Chapter 4, highlights the costs of the war to the UK and the desperate need to export, highlighted in the public information film Export or Die. The chapter continues by charting the development of the TC and TD and includes a great photo of Goldie Gardner at the Bonneville Salt Flats. Chapter 5 is entitled Superlative 60s, and for me is probably my favourite period in MG history, as it saw the launch of both the MGB Roadster in 1962 and the GT in 1965. Incidentally, the GT was actually launched at the Earl's Court Motor Show the day before I was born. The 60s was undoubtedly a golden period for the company, because not only did it see the launch of the MGB and MGB-GT, it also heralded the return of the MG Midget, as well as lots of success on the track. If you're enjoying this video, it'd be great if you'd give it a like, share it with anyone you think might be interested, and drop a comment below. All this activity really helps us grow. Of course, if you subscribe to the channel and click on the bell for notifications, YouTube will let you know when we upload more MG related content. Okay, back to the video. Chapter 6 is entitled Success Against the Odds, the 70s, and is fairly apt given the company's mixed fortunes. On the positive side, the decade marked the 250,000th MGB produced, and although not popular with many, also saw the car significantly updated with black bumpers, raised ride height, and a range of other changes to allow the model to continue to be sold in the US. Sadly, the beginning of the 80s saw the Abingdon factory close due to British Leyland management favouring the TR7 rather than investment in a new MG. What a great decision that was, wasn't it? Chapter 7's title, Changing Gear in the 80s, put a more positive spin on things, and although the true sports cars had gone, the marque continued with MG versions of BL's popular Metro, Maestro and Montego models that went on to sell over 230,000 units. The decade also saw the development of the bonkers MG Metro 6R4. Chapter 8's title, The 90s Return of the MG Sports Car, documents the development of the MG-F and also the emergence of British motor heritage, creating new MGB panels and body shells for use on the RV8. By this time, MG was part of the Rover Group that was owned by BMW, which many felt did the marque no favours as the political rancour increased. As the new millennium dawned, of course, BMW were looking to sell out, but no buyers were coming forward. Eventually, as is well documented, the company was sold to the Phoenix Consortium for a symbolic £10 and was rebranded MG Rover Group. New models were launched and the range consisted of the ZT, the ZTT, ZS, ZR as well as the MG-F. Sadly, the financial position was far from stable, and despite attempting to negotiate a partnership with Chinese car giant SAIC, the company went into administration in 2005. The transition into eventual Chinese ownership is well documented in the book, as is the development of the MG-TF. Chapter 10, Renaissance Towards a Glorious Centenary, covers what to many is the most controversial part of the marque's history. This title may anger some who believe that MG should never have become owned by a Chinese company. For me, it's quite refreshing for such a knowledgeable author to present the facts as they are with no side. That said, however you look at it, the marque is going from strength to strength, both in terms of sales with new petrol, hybrid and electric models. MG expect to sell over 300,000 cars in Europe in 2024, and also in terms of quality, with the all-electric hatchback MG4 scooping several prestigious international awards. And that's without mentioning the stunning MG Cyberster sports car launched in 2024. This success is in no small part down to the UK-based design house headed by Carl Gotham. So, all in all, I think this book is probably the definitive history of the first 100 years of MG, and as such is a must in every MG enthusiast library. So that's it. Many thanks for watching, and take care.